Okay, today we're back to, I guess, part 4 at this time, trying to glaze our barnacle mug. So it's beautiful outside, so I have a setup out there. And what I like to do is wash my pots, which I've already done. And then I'm going to wax the bottom just to make my life easier later on. And then my plan is to use a combination of river birch for the body, and then I love June bug. I hope I have enough, but some June bug for my dots or barnacles, and a little bit of a succulent or lighter green for some contrast, and we'll see how that works out. I also like to set up on a little tray because I like to catch all my little crusty dribblings for later projects. And I have a tiny little spinny turntable, I guess, and I do like to set mine up on paper plates because I'm planning on glazing multiple mugs and I don't have enough little spinny disc things, and putting it on a paper plate, it's much easier to move than trying to touch it while it's wet with glaze. Alright, so here we go. Okay, so I'm mixing up my river birch currently. Like I said, I'm going to open this over my tray so all my little schnibbles that fall off don't get lost. The other thing I do is I like using things I already have laying around the house. So for mixing, I'm just going to use some plastic utensils. I'm going to start out with just a very generous coat of river birch, pretty much throughout the whole inside and outside of my pot. So that's basically going to be my base. And that first one usually goes on pretty sloppy, and that's a-okay. And I don't really care if it goes over my little dots or barnacles at this point, because that just adds to the glaze, helps it flow, especially with this river birch, which I love. I typically do 3 nice coats. Sometimes I get a little excited and I put some more coats on because, I don't know, I just want it to be saturated. Oh no, I'm getting help here. So I'm outside. I'm getting help from my furry crew. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully not too much help. I don't want any kitty hair in this. Okay, so that's sort of the inside first layer. That part's not super exciting, but it's part of the deal. And I also always have 2 cups of water. One where I rinse out my brush first, and that one actually I will collect that water and let that sort of sludge down in order to harvest, I guess, some of the leftovers, which I will then use for another glaze mixture, because glazes are very expensive, so anything I can do to reuse I will absolutely try. And I'm outside, so I don't know if you can hear it, but there's some cranes flying overhead, sandhill cranes, because we are in Wisconsin. Alright, so sloppy coat. I'm going to take a break and I'll come back when it gets a little bit more interesting. Okay, so that's been about 3 generous coats of my river birch. Now I do try to go in different directions on each application, but I also, like I said, it's sloppy because I want it to be a bit uneven and I want it to run. And now I'm going to use my my June bug, this guy. And it's a very sad day. This is all I have. Thank God I only need a few dots, so I'll be okay. And for this, I actually just use a regular paintbrush, so nothing fancy. It's gonna be a little hard to reach down in there, but I'm just going to try to put globs on my little barnacles. Again, I'm not going to be incredibly detailed because I do want it to run and look more organic, so I'm not going to sit and wax any of this or get very specific. Now, if I wanted to be very precise with my barnacles, I could have done those first and then waxed over them, and then been able to wax the rest of the pot, and then I would get less running. But then I would want to use different glazes and not try to invite running, which is what I am actually doing. This is kind of hard to get out. It's thick and gloppy, so let me see if I can do something with that, because nobody wants thick and gloppy. Scraping quite literally at the bottom of the barrel. No, I actually put it in my lid, so at the top of my lid. So, let's see how this works, and if this works, glop some more of this in there. There's probably some very precise potters out there right now that hate my wording of globs and not wanting to be extremely precise, and I'm very sorry for that. But this is why I like it, because it's that organic feel that I enjoy. And especially with these barnacles, they tend to run and have like almost like a little trail or tail or something like that that runs with them, which I find very interesting and cool. So that's what I'm after. I'm going to be doing this for a while. I won't keep you for all of it, but our next step is, I'll show you when it's completely glazed and ready to dry, and then our next step will be filling up our kiln and doing our little dance to the kiln gods to make sure that all goes well. So hopefully that'll be coming up, hoping this weekend. We'll see. And then firing typically takes quite a while to get that done. So I probably won't have a reveal excuse me, until probably later next week or so. We'll see. I won't set any dates because life happens, and I don't want to put myself under pressure that defeats the purpose, because this is supposed to be a form of relaxation for me. So, okay. See you later.